The Royal Navy are to arrest the French fishermen, the UK and Norway become allies on fisheries, and we find some interesting facts about Ursula von der Leyen's past. Hello everyone and welcome to today's show. We have 1 day left to find out whether we're going to have a Brexit deal or we're going to leave the European Union on WTO terms, and officially 20 days left until the end of the Brexit transition period. Now, today in the Times, there are reports about the Royal Navy preparing for a new operation to defend the British waters and our sovereignty. Basically, as you've seen, Macron and his government have already signalled that in an event of a no-deal Brexit, he's going to send his fishermen to just come into the British waters and take our fish. Because why not? That's the agreement we've had. He doesn't really care about territories or British sovereignty. Now, Royal Navy have been told to get ready. So from the 1st of January, they're going to be protecting the borders and the territory that we have. It's quite interesting because obviously I'm going to give you the story about this. But where was the Royal Navy and the Home Office before when we had to deal with other issues? So let's get into this because what they're reporting is that they have now been given new powers, the Royal Navy, to patrol the area to make sure that if EU fishermen, specifically the French fishermen, but to be fair, it's not just the French, it's also the Dutch and others as well. But the reason this article is talking about the French fishermen, firstly, is to make the whole thing dramatic. Firstly, everybody needs to calm down. But secondly, it's because Macron started this game. Macron was the one who said, we're just going to come and take the fish anyway. So they're going to be obviously going around to make sure that the British waters are protected. Now, the government are actually going to be doing this by introducing a legislation. So it's not just going to be some random powers. They're going to go through the legal routes to extend the powers of the Navy police so that they can board foreign vessels and arrest the fishermen. Because of the concerns that we had from the French government. Now, what I've been thinking about is recently, over the last few months, with the issues we had with the migrant boats and the so-called agreement that we had with the French government that failed. Why couldn't we do this with the migrant boats? We could have sent the Royal Navy properly to just protect our borders. But until now, the Home Office kept going with the whole existing arrangement that we have with the French authorities, which was pointless. So if we're going to do this with our waters on the issue of fisheries and British fish, then just continue. Do the same with the illegal migrant boats. There's no problem with that. Now, the issue that we have is that Michael Gove in the Cabinet Office has been warning about the no deal scenario and what could happen from the European Union side because they might retaliate. I'm not really sure how, but apart from the fact that they can send obviously fishermen there, and also they could put a lot of tariff on our products, they can't do anything else. But we've had Tobias Ellwood, who is the chairman of the Commons Defence Committee, saying that the naval threat is irresponsible. But then you had Lord Patten, Chris Patten, coming out to accuse the Prime Minister of behaving like an English nationalist. What? Very confusing. So just because he wants to protect the border, but also using the word nationalist as some sort of insult. So apparently it's like a taboo. So you can't do that. So Lord Patten has come out to say this. This is the same guy who a year ago called and compared the Brexiteers to the radical crazies from the Middle East. Just think about that. So this has happened. But we have some good news on the issues of fisheries. UK and Norway are becoming allies. They have signed a new agreement to show the rest of the European Union that you can easily sign deals, even when it comes to your water and fish. So this is a press release from the government's website talking about how the UK have signed the first fisheries agreement since leaving the European Union as an independent coastal state. So this is good. The whole point of this agreement is because the two countries are quite big players when it comes to fisheries, and the framework agreement that's been signed today by George Eustace, the Environment Secretary, will mean that the UK and Norway will hold annual negotiations on this issue of access to waters and quotas, which is fair enough. This is exactly what we needed from the European Union and Macron, but he kept complaining and just sulking and just going away, and now von der Leyen and her team have told Merkel, Macron, and all the other individual countries just not answer the phone call. Like if Boris Johnson calls you, just don't answer. Just don't talk to him. Because clearly, when you centralize decisions and negotiations, so far it's worked out so well for Brussels that now they've said basically keep everybody away and let us deal with it. Sure, let's just trust Barnier to negotiate with the UK. Hasn't gone too well for you guys, has it? So this is a negotiation that's already been done with Norway. Now, the good thing about this is that each year the UK fishing fleet lands about £32 million worth of fish from the Norwegian waters. And previously, the negotiations with Norway were led by the European Commission on behalf of the UK and obviously other member states. But this year, this is the first time in over 40 years that the UK will be negotiating their own opportunities for 2021 as an independent country. So this is actually obviously good news, and also that means the Dutch and the French will be panicking, considering Norway are the second big player when it comes to this industry. Now, the latest that we have from the rest of the negotiations is that we don't really know exactly what's going on from the Commission. What we know is that the Independent have now reported that Ursula von der Leyen, the head of the European Commission, is one of the main reasons that the Brexit deal hasn't actually been achieved. So it's not necessarily Barnier. Barnier has been given this mandate to do this. Now, I was trying to obviously find out about this story that's written by the Independent. They say that as a child of Europe, the Commission President wants to bring the bloc closer together. That's the biggest problem. That's why they can't really come up with any agreement. Then in the first paragraph, it's talking about how Ursula von der Leyen, some of you probably already know this. I had no idea about this. She was a teen singing star when she was young. So she was a singer. And I actually found out some more information about this. Apparently they were a band of like a family together. We have a picture, and I believe Ursula is probably one of the ones from the right. Could be one on the left, actually. I know it is. It's from the 70s, and they were doing some songs in Germany back in the 1970s. But it's fascinating that this independent article that's supposed to be talking about von der Leyen standing between the Brexit deal and Boris Johnson, they started by talking about her singing career as a teen singing star. So if you didn't know this, fun fact for you. Ursula was a singing star. Now, putting that aside, talking about serious stuff, the issue that we have is that Ursula herself has now told every single country to not ease pressure on the UK, so that we could force Boris Johnson to keep negotiating even until the end of 2021. Because that's the new goal, to extend the Brexit transition without calling it an extension, which is a fascinating thing because, as I said earlier, because a week ago they've told all these countries to stop talking to Boris Johnson separately, they realised that in the past, when, for example, the EU were dealing with Greece, you had Merkel and Germany going behind the EU's back to talk to the Greek government and then come up with agreements. You had Italy getting involved, negotiating with Germany and France on the issue of immigration a few years ago in 2015. The European Union don't want to lose control. And that's why they've now said to every single country, the 27 EU nations, to, well, firstly, don't talk to Boris, but two, don't show any compromise. Just keep fighting. We're going to win. We've got 1 day left. Well, less than a day, actually, at this point. But good luck, guys. I don't know what's going to happen with you guys, but considering the British media haven't really spent any time scrutinizing the European Union side. For the last 4 years, almost going to be 5 years now, 4.5, every single story has always been about attacking the British government and Brexiteers, the actual ordinary voters in this country. For example, ITV News, who until now, they've been pretty okay compared to the rest of all the other outlets. They've done this idiotic interview with Boris Johnson yesterday. This is the guy who interviewed Boris a year ago during the election season, when Boris was talking about how he has a Brexit deal, the withdrawal agreement, the divorce deal, and he called it the oven-ready deal. That was the whole point of the election. The slogan was oven-ready, blah, blah, blah. And he got the deal, he got the election, and the deal was passed, and we left the European Union. Now, this guy has come back a year later, yesterday, to interview Boris to say, look at this clip, Boris, Prime Minister. You promised us you're going to have a deal, but where is the deal?
I'll just show you this. This is you and I last year.
Tell the people in here whose jobs will be affected by that, can they really trust you to get a decent deal?
Well, Greg, we have a decent deal, and you've heard me describe it. It gets us out on January the 31st.
Exactly right.
In a state.
Exactly right.
Well,
which
look,
is exactly what we delivered.
That's you last year.
I mean, as I said, that was supposed to be the withdrawal agreement deal. Now, then he's talking about how you said that you're definitely going to get a trade deal after we leave the European Union.
Last year, and you were asked then about a trade deal, and you said, don't worry, we've got an oven-ready deal, it's good to go.
No,
and on the back of that, if I may, on the back of that, you've got lots of votes here, you've got lots of extra seats here that maybe you didn't expect.
If I may say, with great respect, you're muddling up two things.
I don't think I am. You were asked about a trade deal then, and you chose to respond by saying, we've got an oven-ready deal.
Well, that's another problem with the mainstream media. Well, sure, Boris Johnson said, and yes, he promised to try his best to get a trade deal. But at what cost? You can't just because someone promised something, a pledge that you're going to have to go. So it's like saying, I'm going to go into a shop, buy a phone, I promise I need to get a phone, and then you go into the shop and they say you have to pay £1 million for the phone. Well, you're not going to buy the phone just because someone said you're going to have to pay £1 million for the phone. You come out, you go to the next shop. And Boris Johnson wanted to get a good trade deal and still wants to. But now when you have the European Union making things difficult, do you just want, as ITV News, as the British media, do you just want the British Prime Minister to just say yes to any demand and just sign any deal? I'm not really sure what the priority is for the journalists in Westminster, but this is not how you do negotiations, guys. So I'm going to calm down now. It's Saturday. I'm going to have a cup of tea. You guys go enjoy your evening, and tomorrow I'm going to have a big update for you guys on the last day of negotiations, apparently. One of the deadlines that we've had so far. So thanks again for watching. Don't forget, if you haven't done your Christmas shopping yet, and if you do believe in Britain, get your latest I Believe in Britain merchandise. You get the hoodies, mugs, t-shirts and everything else. Check out the link in the description. If you're a member of the channel, you get a special discount. I will put the discount code in the community tab as usual. If you're not a member, become a member. You could go on youtube.com/myitc/join. Again, the link is in the description. Support the channel, and I will see you guys in the next video.